Well, good morning, Laguna Woods Village, and welcome to the June edition of Club Talk. This is the show that brings the clubs to you. Now, what we've been doing recently, we have one club per show, and this will play all throughout the Monday morning slot at 10 o'clock in June. One club, and the second half of the show is a very talented resident. Someone who sings or dances, plays piano. It's a surprise, and we have such for you today. But it's a great show today. We have a couple of folks who spend an enormous amount of time, energy, and all their well smarts to help you and all your other friends and residents in the village with some certain problems they may have. And first on board here is Tony Bariant from the Hearing Well Club. Hello.
Hi,
Tony, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. We have a lot to cover because hearing problems are very pervasive. They're everywhere, and it's an expensive thing to get into to try to correct, and there are so many variations. But technology recently is catching up finally, and Tony has some great things to tell us about. So why don't we start with the meetings? How about your meetings?
Right. Well, the Hearing Well Club is designed to be a hearing loss support group. So we provide information, education, advocacy, and support for people with all levels of hearing loss. Not everybody has the very mild hearing loss all the way to the profound hearing loss. And the purpose really is just to create awareness about hearing loss. There's a lot of people who would just as soon sweep it under the carpet. They don't want to talk about it. And we can talk about so many things today. Transgender, we can talk about drugs and all kinds of things, but we can't talk about hearing loss. So by creating more awareness about hearing loss, I'm hoping that people will not experience the stigma. They can talk about it and get the help they need, and so that's what the Hearing Well Club does. We're
minimizing the stigma, allowing people to feel more confident with asking for help or getting more into their problems and not feel so
See, the problem
stigmatized.
is hearing loss is a really sneaky thing. It sort of creeps up on you. It starts out very, very low, but as it progresses, you may find yourself retreating and not going to parties, stop going to movies, don't go to plays.
If you don't mind me asking you, Tony, I know you're a hearing loss person, but you have two different things going on, is that correct?
Yes, I have a cochlear implant.
Cochlear implant.
That really is not for everybody. That's for somebody with a profound hearing loss. I sort of almost developed no hearing in there and couldn't really participate in meetings or do whatever. So I got a cochlear implant. So there's actually a device under my skull, and then I wear a hearing aid on this side. So I'm bimodal, they call it. Yes.
And is one favored over the other? I mean, do you love the battery-operated one versus the implant?
Well, they're both battery operated, but I hear better out of my cochlear implant ear. But it's a digital sound as opposed to an acoustical sound, so it sounds a little bit different, but they work together
well.
Just very well.
Now, isn't the ambient noise is what's causing a majority of the problems with getting a good sounding hearing aid? It's too much of that interference.
Well, what happens is hearing aids, cochlear implants, they also amplify background noise. And some audiologists, hearing aid dispensers, are very talented to tweak that, but you can only remove so much background noise, and then you're going to probably need an assistive device, like a hearing loop, which I'm going to talk about.
Very good.
And FM systems or infrared or help for watching the TV. And
very good. Well,
that's a lifesaver.
Take us down that road. I'm very interested, and I'm sure everyone out there is as well. What's coming on down in technology-wise?
Well, I've been working for a 3 years now with Laguna Woods, the GRF, and to make the clubhouses accessible so that people with hearing loss can enjoy programs, movies, documentaries.
Yes.
So Yes. So every clubhouse now, pretty much, Clubhouse 4 is the exception because there's really no audio microphone
Right.
type.
It's more arts and crafts.
And all
Right.
that, right. So all the clubhouses, you can see a sign that is similar to this. Look for the blue ear, and you'll know that there is some kind of assistive technology available. So just to do a quick run through the boardroom now, the GRF boardroom, a couple of things are going on there that haven't always gone on there, is that now the shows, most of the meetings are captioned. They're not only captioned for viewers at home, but if you come into the meeting room, you'll see that it's captioned, and you'll see the meeting going on the two big screen TVs. For me, this is very helpful because sometimes I know somebody's talking, but I may have a problem with directionality. So the cameraman is always pointed at the person who's talking. So I just look at the TV and I know who's talking and I can read as well. So that's really helpful when I'm sitting there in the. So there's no excuse for somebody with a hearing loss to not attend a GRF meeting because they can't hear.
No. And
They also have a hearing loop.
yeah, the hearing loop seems
Yeah.
to be becoming, as you mentioned, a very popular item. You can see along the top of the diagram there. Is that where the loop is?
Yeah. Well, this is the diagram. There's actually a wire that goes completely around the room. It's a copper wire. And it's attached to an amplifier box that's attached to the microphone system. So when somebody is speaking in the microphone, the sound goes to the wire. Now, the connection is the hearing aid, and the majority of hearing aids, except for the teeniest of ones, have a telecoil. And the telecoil needs to be set for use in a hearing loop. So a lot of people don't know they have a telecoil, but they can find out. They need to go to their audiologist or their hearing aid dispenser and say, please activate my telecoil and show me how to turn it on and off. And so with the telecoil, they go into the boardroom and they're sitting there and they can just flip a switch, or in some cases, some hearing aids have a remote control. So you just flip a switch or touch a button or use a remote control, and all of a sudden, all that sound that's going in the copper wire is now
Injected
wirelessly
directly.
It's streaming right to your hearing aid, eliminating all the background noise. So you have a more intimate experience with the speaker. Whoever's talking.
Absolutely. And I'm sure the feedback from everyone who is using this already is
Well, my meetings,
dynamite.
My meetings are captioned. And we have a sponsor caption call that sponsors all of our captioning. So when you come in, every word there's a court reporter that sits right there in the room and is typing it out in real time. And we have a hearing loop. So those with telecoil, and more people have gone out and had their telecoils adjusted, come back, turn on their telecoils, and they can hear me perfectly. So, see, the problem is with hearing aids, the farther away you get from the sound, you know, between here up to 6 feet or so,
right.
you can hear just fine. You get further back, and the volume is the quality. You can hear, you just don't understand. So with an assistive device or the hearing loop, it really brings all that clarity home. So for people who don't have hearing aids, they can use something called a loop listener. So this looks like a loop listener here. So in the outside the boardroom, the receptionist, you can check out a loop listener, which consists of a receiver that you wear around your neck and headphones
Gotcha.
that plugs in right in here. You adjust the volume and you're good to go.
This would be something available now at Clubhouse 3?
This is available right now at the boardroom.
Boardrooms.
They have that. Clubhouse 3. Loop listeners are available at my meetings. So Clubhouse 3 doesn't have loop listeners yet. We're getting there. Just takes time.
Everything takes time.
Yeah, everything takes time. But let me tell you let me tell you about the other clubhouses.
Yes.
So in Clubhouse 1, they have movies and they have documentaries every month, and they have something called an FM system. So you go to the supervisor's office and you check this out. This is in the main ballroom. So if you have a club or if there's an event in the main ballroom, Clubhouse 1, you can use this device that works in a similar way as the Loop Listener. So it's a box,
Right?
and you use the headphones, and you turn it on, and you hear crystal clear.
Wow.
Now, for people who have telecoil, they don't want to use headphones. They get spoiled. So you can use something called a neck loop. So instead of a loop that goes around the room, you can wear this neck loop, like this, and turn on your telecoil. So that just saves you from having to wear a neck loop. And they actually, if you don't have a neck loop, you can check out a neck loop along with the receiver in Clubhouse 1 in the supervisor's office. This is also available in Clubhouse 5 in the main room.
Gotcha. Moving along.
In the big room. Clubhouse 6 in their meeting room. They have an FM system. Clubhouse 7, still a little work to do to get everything updated there. They have a device that looks similar to this, which I don't think is really great because this goes in your ear. It's not very sanitary. And if you're wearing hearing aids, it's a little difficult.
Right.
It's really awkward.
Yes.
So, but as soon as they're going to do a refurbishment, even before such time as they do renovation, I'm hoping to have these replaced. So we're working on that. It's in progress. You know, the request has already been made. They have very limited numbers of these, and they only have 6 of them. So they're not, the system is over 20 years old, so it's really out of date.
Yes, definitely.
Really out of
20 years nowadays, that is obsolete.
Yes.
Are there plans to have everybody on the same system?
Well, let me tell you about Clubhouse 2, because that's under renovation, and it's my understanding all of the meeting rooms will have a hearing loop.
Yeah.
So I want residents to get ready and get their telecoils activated, learn how to use it, and everywhere you go, eventually, the GRF has at one time said that they're committed to putting hearing loops throughout, but just one step at a time.
Gotcha.
One step at a time.
Folks who are watching and now are stimulated and who really want to become part of the club, how do they just show up on the second
They just show up.
look at it?
Membership is not required. We don't limit anybody. It's free. All of the programs are free. Let me tell you some of the programs, because some people say to me, "Well, what do you do in a hearing loss support group?"
Good point.
So I have meetings that actually talk to you how to purchase a hearing aid, the consumer's guide to purchasing a hearing aid and not get ripped off, what kind of services to expect from an audiologist or hearing aid dispenser. They're not all the same. I did a whole program just last month on traveling with a hearing loss, because boy, nothing can take the fun out of traveling as much as if you had a hearing loss. So as a matter of fact, there are friends of mine in another organization. They actually arrange for cruises to the Bahamas, and that's totally hearing accessible, meaning there's an FM system available for all the shows and the movies and all that. So I have information on that. So it's possible to have hearing accessible vacations.
Wow, very interesting, Tony. I'm sorry we're running a little short of time because it's just fascinating stuff. We could go on for a long time.
We could. I could.
Join Tony if you have any questions about hearing loss and where we're going and how the community is really upgrading their systems. It's the second Tuesday of every month, Clubhouse 3, Dining Room 2. And right now there's approximately combined mail-outs and people who attend about 800. Hearing Well club members. So it's an organization you're going to be proud to be part of, and as Tony mentions, every month is chock full of great information that you can use. Tony, thank you very much, and I'm sure the thousands who you have helped, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Your energy is great.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming in and bringing us up to date.
I hope you let me come again.
Oh, absolutely. You're a standing member.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, folks, we say goodbye to Tony, and we're going to take a quick break. And Sunshine Ludi is standing by to tell us about all the things she's made donations possible for, many, 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 and is going to sing a few songs for us as well. Stay tuned.